Being able to support your husband as a woman makes all the difference. That is what will make the man aspire and achieve what God created him to achieve. The greatest impediment to a man achieving the desired end is always a woman that is antagonistic to the call of God upon his life, a woman that is antagonistic to what God has created him to be. Because the coming of a woman into a man's life is meant to provide a kind of leverage for the man to leap forward and attain that height. When he's not able to attain it because a woman is busy casting him down, because the wife whom he brought in is busy casting aspersions and joining the rest of the world to criticize him negatively, then it becomes difficult for him to achieve that. Then, of course, the woman on her own has also failed in her duties. That is why we are raising this topic today, how a wife can support her husband. That is the topic we are dealing today. If you are a woman, I want you to pay me ultimate attention, because you are going to gain one or two things in our topic of discussion today. How can a woman support her husband? Now, of course, before I go further, I will appreciate it if you can click that red button by my side and get subscribed to this channel. This is a great channel for those who want to make a success of their marriage. And if you click on this channel, I can assure you that week after week, you are going to receive some inputs, spiritual, emotional, moral inputs that can help your marriage to attain the height that you actually prayed for it to attain. So click on that red button, get subscribed to this channel, and then you'll be receiving our teachings on a weekly basis. Thank you very much. And then let me now go into the topic really. One of the areas a woman can actually support her husband is in the spiritual realm. The capacity to pray together with your husband will make all the difference in his life. The Bible says something. It says, no man receives anything except it be given unto him from above. Therefore, whatever heights you are going to attain in life, you and your husband I'm talking about now, whatever height you are going to attain will depend on the creator of both of you, opening up what is hidden before thee, opening up your life and making it possible for you to attain whatever through the light he's showing unto you. So you must be able to prayerfully join forces with your husband in order to attain that. The Bible also said in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9, it said, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. If you join forces with your husband and you are prayerful enough and you are believing God for that testimony that whatever is promised you as husband and wife by God is attainable, surely God will open it and you will attain that. Very, very important. If you are not always supporting your husband in the place of prayer, he will lose a lot of virtue. He will lose a lot of spiritual energy. So be there for him on the spiritual terrain. Be there to fast with him. Be there to go on spiritual retreats with him. Be there to support him in your prayer life, whether he's there or not. Every prayer you raise, you must also include him, because both of you are joint heirs to the grace of life. Very, very important. So that is number one. That is one area where a woman must support her husband. The second area of support where you must give adequate support to your husband is in the area of mental support. Being able to also think with him, being able to also address issues from a mental perspective. Don't allow him to do all the thinking while you relax. When an issue comes up, as you are also looking at that issue critically, he should also be looking at it. And if you find any revelation of God in your spirit concerning that issue, you should make that known so that you can also be a kind of counselor to one another. You must support him in that area. Don't always allow your husband to go out there to seek for counsel. One of the reasons why you are in that marriage is to provide a support base that will enable him to attain whatever height. So be his counselor. Be his counselor. It is very, very clear that in life, really, women are more discernible in so many areas of life than men. So be able to discern whatever area that you can be a counselor unto him. Very, very important. And as you do that, God will open the doors unto you. One other area that every man, including myself, needs support from the wife is in the area of emotional support. The capacity of your wife to provide that enablement, that kind of motivation that will enable you to move to the next level. Many times in our daily exercise of faith, even when we go out there to look for our daily living, somehow you can be discouraged, somehow you can be frustrated, somehow you can be disappointed by one thing or the other. When you get back to the house, you need that woman in your life to be able to tell you, you can attain that. Keep calm, keep focused, you will get there. I am praying for you. I am there for you. No matter what the world thinks, I know you are a better man. I have seen so many other men who are doing exploits, and I know my man. I know my man is stronger. I know my man is more intelligent. I know my man is better than them. And just step out there. It will still happen. We need our women to tell us that. But when you come back to the home and you discover that your woman is rather antagonizing, is rather disrobing you, is rather criticizing you, is rather making you look like lesser than you are, certainly a whole lot of things go wrong. But when you have that woman always by your side, motivating you, holding you high, in honor, in respect, in joy, certainly you become the man that you ought to be. So the greatest motivator we seek for as a man, as husbands, as fathers, is that woman in our life being able to tell us we can achieve that. A woman must support her husband in that realm. You don't compete with him. You are not called to compete with him. You are called to complement him. Even when you have more resources, financial resources, or greater financial input more than him, yet you are there to complement him, not to compete with him. Don't take away his role, his position as a husband, and deprive him the joy of being the head of the home. No, not because you have more resources, but use whatever you have, whether financial or moral resources, to equip him to become what you desire him to be. That is what every man desires, and that is the kind of support we are looking for in our women. And then what is the fifth kind of support, this kind of support base that a woman should give to her husband? The fifth kind of support base, physical support. We as men have physical needs, from sex to a touch of the hand to all manner of physical needs. A man needs attention, just like the woman also needs attention. But right now, I'm talking about what the woman brings to the table. Physical needs. Anytime you discover a man who is joyful at work, you discover a man who comes to the workplace early in the morning, whistling and feeling so happy, go and check very well. The wife had dealt with him seriously in the night, in the bedroom. So physical touch is very important. It makes all the pressure to go down. It removes this stress. A man burdened with stress is a volcano waiting to happen. So physical touch, physical support, a man needs that. And then when we're also talking about physical support, you can also look at the area of financial support. If by the grace of God you have more financial resources than your husband, there's nothing that stops you from injecting it once in a while to support the family and take away certain pressures out of him. Whenever you read something like Proverbs chapter 31, you see the woman doing that. The woman that is a support to her husband, a bulwark of support to her husband. Every man needs such a support. And I pray that you are such a woman that can look at the needs of your husband, or the area where your husband is failing, or the lapses in your husband, and then you provide that support that will close that gap, and then the world will not laugh at you. I believe that God has given you all it takes to be that woman. And as you do that, we also go into the next area. But before we go into that, please look at that button by my side. It's the red button. Click on it and get subscribed to this channel. We are looking at the areas a woman can support her husband to become what God created him to be, and also to derive much benefit in that support. That is what we are looking at even today. So just keep on as we go into the next point. And finally, what is that area where a woman can bring good support to her husband? It is the area of intellectual, or what I may call mental support. The capacity to help him think the right thoughts, the capacity to correct him, the capacity to be there for him as a counselor. I have come to understand in life that in most cases women are more discernible than men. They have more intuition. They are able to gather and interpret some certain information faster than the man. That is why God brought you into that marriage. to provide that kind of support to him, so that instead of going out there to seek for counsel, instead of sitting in his room and thinking and meditating and coming out with a negative report, you should be the woman that will also help him to think these thoughts, with love in your heart. Because what most women do is they try to arrogate themselves, they try to become arrogant about the whole thing, and that makes the man to reject their mental support. But if you are a discerning woman, if you are a humble woman, if you are a creative and skillful wife, you should be able to, let your husband know your thoughts in a particular area without being prideful about it. No, you can do that. There is a way you minister to your husband, and he will see you bigger than who you really are. He will see you he will begin to honor you. Honor comes from honor. The way you minister to a man, and he will be left with no other than to just honor you. To just honor you. A man will respect you when he sees that the values, the glory, the joy you bring to the marital table is really great. He begins to look at you with joy. He begins to look at you with respect. He begins to look at you with honor. Honor begets honor. And I want you to actually look forward to a wonderful man. No matter what the times may say, your husband is your number one priority as a woman. Support him to become a godly leader. If you support him, he will attain that height that you have always believed in. It does not matter the circumstances that is playing out right now, but he can get to that head, that leadership role that you have always believed him capable of reaching. I thank God for making it possible for us to talk to one another today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Be highly blessed, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for your time.